Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. We are talking She-Hulk, the pilot episode. I'm here with Cheeto, Jose, and Fat Hulk. Before we start doing a breakdown of this particular episode, I'm going to ask you individually what you thought of the pilot. First of all, Cousin Cheeto.
I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. It was enjoyable. I'm not going to say it was like the best Disney Plus has offered us or anything like that, but for what it was very enjoyable. I do like the actress as Jennifer Walters, as well as She-Hulk. I think the CGI improved a little bit, and I really enjoyed Mark Ruffalo more than I probably ever have, in my opinion, in this episode than in a lot of the other media he's been in, like in the MCU. So I don't know. I think it did pretty well for itself, especially for an opening episode. They didn't even give us, like, normally they'll drop like 2 or 3 episodes the first week to try to get us hooked or whatever, and they didn't even do that this week. So
considering we've got 9 episodes as well, I'm kind of surprised. Hello,
9 episodes.
Yeah,
9.
Jim and Daniel Vance in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Fat Hulk, what did you think of the pilot?
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go, baby.
Pinkies up, everybody.
There's always somebody.
Well, it definitely ranks up there as one of the stupider fucking opening episodes to an MCU TV show. I will agree with Cheeto. I actually really liked Hulk in this. I thought it was really, really good. I'm kind of gutted that we're not going to get more of him. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But once you give us one of the worst origins story in the MCU so far, it was just downhill after that. I was just like, okay, I'm not expecting her exact origins from the comic book, but this is how they got to it.
At least some consistency.
No drama, no high stakes. Just you bled on me. Now I'm She-Hulk. Fuck off. And it was just, at that point, it's just like, okay, we get it. Men bad, women good. Women will help each other. Men are all cunts. Everything was mansplained. Everything was like just one-dimensional. She's not likable. It's just like, okay, you're a salty bitch. We get it. Fine. Oh, an alien ship. How an alien ship just appeared out of nowhere, derails everything. Oh yeah, it was just a ship from Sakaar sending a message. What, are you dropping hints that we're going to redo Planet Hulk? What is it? It's a ship, and that's it. And then it's never talked about. It's just a ship. It's just fucking like it pissed me off from start to finish. And it's downhill from here. If we've got 9 episodes, I've got to deal with this shit. Fuck off. I'm just watching this episode, and I might go back to it when it's over.
Well, look, considering there are 9 episodes regarding the Sakaarian ship, let's just see what happens in the future. Yeah, it doesn't have to be all explained in one.
Yeah, you lot will have to tell me in the DMs if it's worth watching, if that thing comes back, because then I'll go back to it. Otherwise, I just have no interest.
Okay, Jose.
Those poor innocent Cheetos. They were just minding their own business, and those bastards murdered the Cheetos. Oh my God.
Children!
Those
My
Cheetos!
children!
They had a family, damn it. Anyway, I thought it was all right. The CGI, it was better than what I thought it was going to be. It doesn't look as bad as Ivan Ooze in the Power Rangers movie. But I thought the dynamic between She-Hulk and Hulk was great. I really liked that aspect of the episode. But overall, I thought it was just okay. You know, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best thing I ever seen either. But I look forward to seeing what is going to happen going forward.
Okay, I just want to give my 2 pennies worth. I liked it. I thought it was a decent start to this particular season. I actually didn't mind, just quickly getting into it. But some people complain about, like things, origins taking too long. This time around, it happened. We're there. Get this shit over and done with. And I very much appreciate that. Now we can, after this episode, we can just go straight into She-Hulk being She-Hulk and see how it pans out for the rest of the show. Anyways, you guys ready for the breakdown?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So, She-Hulk episode 1, a normal amount of rage, unless you're Fat Hulk here in the corner.
He's already raged, and we can't.
I'm already raged.
He's already raged. So
neckbeard Hulk.
Yeah, proper neckbeard with your comments there.
Neckbeard Hulk.
Neckbeard Hulk.
Okay. So Jennifer Walters is talking about the responsibility of power. It seems she's giving a closing statement to a courtroom, but she's actually performing in front of her colleagues. Her male colleague Dennis insists on doing the closing, but he gets told to fuck off. This rehearsal Jen is giving is a case against the GLK and H, a rival law firm, and her friend Nikki says if all else fails, she can Hulk out. Walter then breaks the fourth wall, telling everyone that she is a Hulk, and we get up to speed with a flashback origin story.
And
welcome John Connor. He's a friend of myself and Panny's. This show's a bit lame at the moment. Hopefully it picks up soon. Damn,
Yeah.
I really thought a lot of people would like it because I was on board for it myself. But okay, that's interesting seeing.
No, it's just bad fucking writing and typical like Disney TV is just always gonna be fucking disappointing.
By the way, once again, guys, anytime you guys want to intervene in the breakdown, let me know. So Bruce and Jen are in a car driving somewhere, talking about Steve Rogers' virginity and how he's too busy being an Avenger to get laid. Banner also mentions his prototype device on his good arm, keeping him in uniform and also healing his bad arm, which he obviously got from reversing the snap. And just then, a Sakaar spaceship blocks Jen's car, causing her to swerve off the road, tumbling down a mountainous hill. Jen gets out of the car, cuts her arm, but we see her first bit of heroics as she saves her cousin. Bruce
dumb.
Here we go.
Fucking dumb.
Oh god.
Absolute dumb.
Okay.
Tell them how you really feel. Yeah.
I'm tired of this lazy fucking storytelling, man. Just
okay.
She has such a good at origins, which would have made sense given she's a fucking lawyer. But we do the let me grab my cousin out the car and he fucking bleeds on me.
Well,
I've got the whole case.
Bruce in human form is bleeding, and his blood gets into her wound, causing her to change and run off. And Bruce is also changing too. Jen in Walter's form arrives at a redneck bar and heads off to the toilet and is immediately giving a helping hand by some ladies also there. They clean her up and give her some shoes. Jen is then waiting and contemplating.
That was so stupid.
Yeah.
That's the biggest pile of fiction ever.
Yeah, that will not happen in real life. They'll look at you and go, "Oh, you fucked up."
Look at you, skanky asshole.
Jen is then waiting and contemplating her next move outside the hillbilly saloon.
No, wait, hold on.
And here come the rapey men.
Look, I don't know what bars you go to, but in the UK, you guys must have some fucked up shit because I can see that happening here in the US, where girls walk in and say, that guy ain't worth it. I mean, I was sitting there going, yeah, I can see this happening.
But there's always that one that's like, oh, you look like you fucked up. There's always one. There's always
that
one.
That you a hoe.
No. In America, they would help her, and then as they're when they leave, they'd be like, "Oh, what's that skanky hoe doing?" Like, like they would talk bad about her after they leave.
Yeah.
So no, and then here come Zam's getting into the rapey men, which I did eye roll at this, but again. Bars in the US.
It's just like, we haven't had this thing. It's like when you have a teenage school like hero setting. You're like, of course we're going to get the generic bully that's going to come in with female-less stuff. We're going to get your genetic rapists coming in. This is why I'm getting annoyed with it, because it's just like we're just getting the same shit over and over and over again. It's just got a different coat of paint on it. Yeah. How about break the fucking mold?
Maybe if we see enough of it in fiction, maybe we'll stop doing it in real life.
That's never going to happen.
I wouldn't count on that.
Yeah.
I bet you sexual assault goes up after the first episode of
She-Hulk. Look what's happening in America right now, where they are treating women with the reverse of Roe v. Wade and shit like that, and they very much they want to get to a Handmaid's Tale in fucking America right now. So these sort of cliche sort of writing, I'm not surprised by it. A lot of the men out there in the States are very much.
Yes, but in the world of storytelling fiction, when you do it over and over and over again,
it gets fucking tedious.
It just gets to the point where you're just going to be like, well, I know exactly what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm. That's
why you try to go a bit left field with it.
Here,
my struggle could have been with like bosses in the in her attorney firm or something like that. That kind of area, not the generic horse fuckery that we ended up with.
Welcome, Jake. Finally here. Wonderful. Well, very good. Better late than never. All right. So we've already briefly mentioned about this episode, but I am doing a breakdown right now. Jake, what did you think of this episode?
Well, at the beginning of being late there, I was trapped in a beach house in Mexico. But in general, I liked the episode. It was a good introductory origin story. So, whatever, next week will be even better.
Yeah, that's the same with superhero shows. A lot of the times, especially with the unfamiliar ones, you need an origin story. Okay, so as I was saying, Jen is then waiting and contemplating her next move outside the Hillbilly Saloon when a bunch of creeps start harassing her, and so she hulks out, and then she gets speared by Bruce's Hulk. And somehow that night,
Almighty, it's a spear from
She's
the
broken in half.
Oh my God!
Is broken in half.
You had a family, damn it.
What am I doing?
It was one hell of a spear because next thing you know, she wakes up in a paradise-like location. It looks like a tiki home, but she hears Mexican music and then follows
Fucking Ruth, you're the wrong cousin.
Into Bruce's underground lair. Jen says Bruce is a Hulk again, but Bruce says he's Smart Hulk, a moniker given to him by the people. He briefly mentions this place, the place that they're in was built by himself and Tony, where they did their science bro thing. He also mentions the Sakaar spaceship that crashed there, but he'll deal with that later. But first, they have to deal with Jen, who's been infected by Bruce's gamma blood. Bruce then destroys Jen's blood samples because it's dangerous to other people in other people's hands. And Jen is overwhelmed by this, knowing her life has changed and she needs to eat some food.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, anytime you want to intervene, guys.
And she's all like,
user saying,
"Yep."
Hulk with Brock Lesnar.
Intro playing, yeah, I could see that. Mm-hmm.
Let's put paint by numbers plot. The only good bit was the fourth wall break, but it was done better by Deadpool. Yes, but
yeah, I agree.
People keep saying that, but She-Hulk done it first in the comics before Deadpool did. He just happened to do it first in live action, and people have been breaking the fourth wall forever. I want to know who.
Yeah,
Ched
although
is
Deadpool was
relative.
famous for it, she did it way before. Way before.
Who Ched is, the relative Bruce offhand mentions. I did a smart one in the family. Yeah, I heard that too. I like Loki, but She-Hulk needs to improve a lot. It's just one episode, dude.
Yeah, you got time. You got to give it. You got to give it
Did
like.
Fat Hulk get out the wrong? Did Fat Hulk get out the wrong side of bed? The show's a bit lame. Okay, but hopefully pick up soon. And one more comment here. Bruce jokes about how Tony will somehow show up to take the house back. I think this is foreshadowing. The house be used by Iron Lad and Young Avengers.
Yep,
fair
I
enough,
could see that. Yeah.
So Bruce wants to mentor Jen and throws a massive file down, saying it'll take 15 years to go through her journey as a Hulk.
She's like, I ain't got that kind of fucking time. I got shit to do. Exactly. I'm a lawyer, damn it. I got to get back to L.A.
God damn it, I'm a woman. I'm perfect from the start. Let's just get out of here. We don't need no character development.
But here's the
First thing he does is
it shows in this, like, Jennifer Walters has always been really good in the comic books too. Like, I'm not a big She-Hulk mark. I didn't read a lot of She-Hulk, but like, she's always had the ability to like be Jen Walters and She-Hulk at the same time. Like, this is nothing new. If you guys are going to complain, like, and I'm not saying you guys. I'm
not the you guys.
No. I'm not complaining about that part. That's the part that separated her from the Hulk.
Yeah.
It's the learning process and all of that. It goes through the generic, you got to build character, and it just doesn't do that. It just kind of whips through it.
It felt more like a Rocky montage, like yeah.
No, there was a funny bit.
You guys have been happier if they had the Rocky montage going behind it. I mean,
that would have been hilarious if they would have done the Rocky montage. Then,
you guys would have been like, "Oh, these fuckers are so unoriginal." Blah blah blah. Going by the fucking numbers.
Well, they are unoriginal anyway, so it wouldn't have really mattered if they did the Rocky montage.
It would have just been funny. Yeah.
Just to sour your mood, Cheetah. Side comment for Cheetah: HBO is not planning to renew Young Justice.
Go figure.
I did hear that.
Not for 10 years at least.
HBO is not doing anything. They're canceling everything. They've gone from the best streaming service to the worst.
Yeah, HBO is getting ready to merge with Discovery, so you could say goodbye to everything that they're doing.
Yeah. It's literally like I mean, at first I was just like, "Oh, this Does Love guy is interesting. He's kind of out of the bullshit." And I was just like, "I'm just cutting everything." It's like, okay, but then your service is going to fail, and then you're just gonna cry that it failed, and then you might as well just fucking sell off your Warner Brothers wing. Then
Well,
if you're just cutting everything,
Discovery
like,
thinks
get
because they
ridiculous.
bought
Young Justice is
HBO that
gone.
they're
What's
better.
next?
Yeah.
Oh, James, by the way, James is the Facebook user.
Discovery-
Welcome, James.
Discovery's like, yeah, we got more. Discovery's like, yeah, we got more money than God, so you can eat it. That's kind of what their thought process.
Yeah, well, they're like, well, we're going to turn everything to be more like Discovery. It's like, well, Discovery Plus isn't the #1 streaming service.
It's not.
HBO is.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back on
All
track,
right.
boys. All right, first thing. Okay, so the first thing Bruce does is he puts Jen in a sword chamber. Jen then changes to the She-Hulk and breaks the machine worth millions of dollars and roars in anger. Bruce tries to calm her down, like thinking that she's out of control, but Jen
And then
mind is still functioning.
and then he's like, bruh, what the fuck is wrong with you? You just can't come up in here destroying shit. Like, that ain't how it worked. I thought that was actually pretty funny.
No, but he was more amazed that because she's still
She's retaining her memory, yeah.
Yeah, like while it took him over a decade to be Bruce and the Hulk, she's instantly Jen.
Yeah.
So
he's just like,
which is true to the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, that doesn't piss you off that's perfection as well, there, Ginge. No,
but that one's like true to the comics, and that's what separated her from the Hulk.
Yeah.
The fact that she was always in control.
Fair enough.
I think that would
Anyway,
have been fun if there wasn't already Smart Hulk, and so she was a new thing, and all of a sudden she can do this. But the fact that we already have Smart Hulk, and he had to go through a long journey, and she didn't have to, makes it feel like she's shortcutting, even though that's really just what her character is. So I think her character, being her character, comes about before Smart Hulk does.
Oh yeah, way before.
So it's like he's already stole her thunder.
Yeah.
She's still functioning as the Hulk, and Bruce wants to know why she's not acting like a Neanderthal. But Bruce is actually amazed that she has no alter ego and is in full control, and he's also jealous as fuck. Jen, thinking that she's acing her tutoring, gets a harsh lesson that Hulk anger destroys things and gets people killed. And once people see you as a monster, that image never goes away. Next day, Bruce wakes up Jen with an air horn, and we get a montage of.
See that. Sorry to disrupt, but that again was an excellent moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that excellent moment of describing something again goes to not the star of the show, but it's just kind of paints the tragedy of the Hulk. There, just that one little line. Hey, you lose control, and they'll just ever think of you as just a monster.
Yeah, for sure. So next day, Bruce wakes up Jen with an air horn, and we get a montage of Hulk, Yoda, boulder tossing, and the importance of spandex. Bruce and Jen then get to drinking, and it's funny in a way because like Bruce is saying, one of the advantages, the good thing about being a Hulk,
you can drink.
You could never get drunk. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this a good thing? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
he says all
you get
buzz,
the buzz.
All buzz, no barf. Yeah, you can consume alcohol and
you can get a buzz. From what he's saying, you can get a buzz, but like, you don't get like blackout drunk.
Yeah,
which is no fun for anyone. I mean, really.
Really? Anyway, trust me,
in the UK, that's the whole point of getting drunk is to get blackout drunk.
Oh no!
Yeah,
they
end up sleeping on.
I've held
sleeping
enough
on the
hair
pavement.
back.
Sleeping on a park bench or asleep on a bus and ended up in the middle of nowhere.
Some girl spread eagled and shit. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's how we do it in England. Anyway, Bruce and Jen then get into drinking, and the Hulks, but the Hulks don't get drunk, but they do feel a hangover the next day if you're in human form, which is what happened to Jen Walters. Jen then wants to get back to her life now, and Bruce says that being a superhero is a huge responsibility. We do get that great power, great responsibility sort of vibe, throughout this episode from Bruce towards Jen. Anyway, Jen does not want to be a superhero; she just wants to be a lawyer. She also mentions suppressing her anger, and Jen says that she. Sorry, Bruce also tells her to suppress her anger, but Jen says that she's been suppressing her anger for years from catcalls and mansplaining. Jen and Bruce continue to bicker. Bruce is insistent that Jen is a superhero and has to accept her new responsibility. Jen
and then they start to fight.
Gets into Bruce's van, into his pickup truck, which is a bit bigger than normal because it's designed for a Hulk. Yeah. But she gets into it and drives off, shoving Bruce into some rocks. And then a Hulk fight begins between the two cousins as they rage and smash the shit shit up, culminating them into smashing shit up, ending up breaking up the bar which Bruce and Tony built. Culminating with them finally coming to their senses.
Yeah, and you're fixing it.
They repaired the bar, and Bruce then accepts that if Jen wants to go back to her life being a lawyer, then she can do. And then we cut back now to the flashback to the present day, where Walters is now in court. And we hear a defense attorney mention the death of workers under the GLKH regime as accidents. And then a female version of the Ultimate Warrior burst through the walls, scaring the shit out of everyone.
The scariest thing about that, you could actually understand everything she said. I was like, oh my God, that is scary to have someone dressed up like the Ultimate Warrior, and it makes sense.
Well, the funny thing is as well, we don't like watching this episode twice. There was no explanation of what she was doing.
Yeah,
I also noticed that when she broke in there, like because the damage she caused by breaking in there, like some of the framing closed, like blocked the door so no one could escape, so everyone was trapped in there.
Yep.
And stuff.
Yeah, great design. You bust through a wall and the whole fucking building collapses. Made in America.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's American made, baby.
America. Fuck yeah.
America.
Jen,
Fuck you.
Jen reluctantly changes to She-Hulk and easily defeats the Ultimate Warrior Princess. She-Hulk turns back into Jen and she says she's ready to give her closing address. I mean, that just doesn't happen, does it? Like, that's a bit stupid.
That
we
was
just
so
had a massive
stupid.
fight in a courtroom, and I've turned into the She-Hulk, and now I've turned back into Jen again, and now you want me to continue like nothing Kagwani. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Titania's flying kick reminded me of You Don't Mess with the Zohan from Adam Sandler. It reminded me of that. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was just like
I was thinking Scott
fucking
Pilgrim
Zohan.
when he fights the first
Scott
X.
Pilgrim, yeah.
Yeah, and he's because they're just the way they did the shot of like the connect punching to the fist punching to the I can't talk anything. The fist connecting to the kick was exactly like that shot. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we obviously hit the credits now, and now we're going to a post-credit scene. And I think with Flash, I don't know if we're flashbacking or not. Is like Jen gone back to visit Bruce? I don't think.
No,
so.
I think it was like the night when they were drinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she's in human form, Jen is, and Bruce is in
But they were
form.
drinking.
So
Yeah.
so they're talking about like Jen is mortified that Steve Rogers probably died of. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, even if he did in the past or not, he went back in time to meet Peggy, so he never died a virgin. But regardless, she's mortified that Steve Rogers might have died a virgin. You've got an amazing fucking ass.
Yeah, they go
somebody with an ass like that.
Her and fucking Paul Rudd, like they have an obsession with Captain America's ass, and I'm just like, that was weird.
America's ass.
Yeah.
Everybody should be obsessed with it. They should always write tabloids about it. And
Frankly, I'm disappointed TMZ hasn't done a whole article on it.
On America's ass, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how a man like that could live his life as a virgin, with an ass like that, and so she's mortified. She's like drinking herself into a stupor because she's so upset by this. But then Bruce tells Jen an inside secret that
he didn't die a virgin. Yep.
To a girl in 1943 whilst he was doing his USO tour. So Walters is like extremely ecstatic now, very happy, and screams, "Captain America, fuck
yeah!"
I don't give a shit if they cut half of the F word off. Disney, you knew what the fuck you were doing.
You should have went all the way with it. You should have went all the way with it. You threw an F-bomb
in there. You throw an F-bomb in there. You know what I mean? In this show, which is going to have lots of fucking sexual references in the future, which will be out there for kiddies, by the way, to watch because, Disney want their fucking cake and eat it. But regardless, you threw an F-bomb in there. Don't halfway cut it off. Just give us the whole fucking fuck. We know what's going on. For fuck's sake. So, that was the episode and it's done. So, origin story over in the first episode. I'm very happy about that. So it'll be interesting to see where we go in the future. More cameos to come. We've already had Bruce Banner, and now hopefully we'll get Wong, and we'll get Daredevil, and then we'll get fucking Emil Blonsky as well. So more crossovers to come in the future. I mean, this has been one of the most marvelous shows of all the series that have come out by Marvel. I mean, there's a lot of Marvel characters. I've been demanding crossovers since all this shit started to come out, and I'm going to get it with this show for sure. So I very much enjoyed this first episode. I thought Bruce Banner was fantastic. I just love seeing Mark Ruffalo on our screen. He's a great. I like Professor Hulk. A lot of people have an issue with Professor. I like Professor Hulk a lot. You know, it's an arc of his character. But yeah, great stuff. Anything more to add?
I would like to see a Hulk series. Would be good.
We said in one of our recent videos, though, Universal needs to fucking just let it go, but they won't do that.
I think, I from what I understand, Marvel can make a solo Hulk film.
I was saying that when we were talking the other day.
But they get first refusal on distribution, that's all.
Yeah, they won't get to distribute it. So they don't get all 100% of the money, so they won't do it.
Yeah, they won't do that.
It's a legality thing, but I think they said within the next year, the Hulk rights are coming back to Marvel. Like,
and that's where we're going to get the planned World War Hulk, probably. Yeah,
because I've been saying World War Hulk is coming. I'm like, they can't not have the MCU and not do a World War Hulk movie.
Well, I mean, given we got the Sakaar ship as well that popped up, that didn't just pop up for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was like just fobbed away in the episode, it's definitely there for a reason. It's definitely setting up to maybe do a redo of Planet Hulk, but to do it properly. So when they have the rights back, they could do and give us one of the best the Hulk storylines and do better justice to like World War Hulk as well. Because I didn't really enjoy the comic book version, but I enjoyed the premise of it, and I think that would be a fantastic Avengers film.
Did Jen have to register herself under the Sokovia Accords? I don't know. They might have to elaborate that on the next episode.
Well, Bruce didn't.
She just revealed herself in this episode, like at the end of this episode. So there's not a chance for her to have to sign. I'm sure somebody will probably approach her.
I feel like she might have already signed them, and the people already know because it didn't seem like a secret. The way she talks about it in the beginning of it makes it seem like she's already out. Two people know. She said her best friend, what's her face, and then Bruce, and now us. So I mean, but no, I mean those are the only two people that know. So I would expect somebody in this series will, now that she's out, like in that public form, somebody will come and visit her from. And if they don't, it's a big plot hole that really needs to be addressed.
And by the way, just some of the yoga stuff he was doing, under Edward Norton when in the Incredible Hulk movie, he was doing stuff like mind control, breathing, and stuff like that. They obviously took it to another level with them fucking standing on their fingertips because they're so bloody strong. Mm-hmm. But we were talking the other day regarding if that first film is
canon or not.
And it is. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what some dickhead YouTuber with 500,000 subscribers thinks because he wants to get some fucking likes. Yeah. Are we
talking about ourselves or somebody else?
Right.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about that shit Hulk film from 2009?
Yeah.
All right. So wait. Stop.
Here we go. That is canon.
It is canon.
Guys, stop.
It is canon.
So, just to explain to people who are watching, we recorded a video recently, and we were going back and forth on whether the Hulk, whether the Incredible Hulk was canon or not. Me and Zam said that, fuck yeah, it's canon. Like, there's no way it's not. And then other people...
Jake, why are you shaking your head if fucking Ross and Emil Blonsky are in this universe? They just changed the actor, that is all.
They can be
all they did was change the actor.
Because in the main MCU 616, Emil Oblonsky just happens to look exactly like the Emil Oblonsky of the universe.
Stop now. It's literally part of the MCU, dude.
Not part of canon.
Well, okay, you can deny it all you want, but you have to go and tell Kevin Feige that. You have to go tell Feige that.
And we were kind of digging through it the other day before we realized how sidetracked we were. But
Well,
I seriously, I don't consider it canon. It doesn't show up in Disney Plus. It doesn't
That's
show
because
up.
it's owned by Universal.
Right. I
Yeah.
don't care. I still don't consider it canon.
It won't show up on this. Why? So
What if had I seen
Spider-Man
Nobody
Homecoming
ever
Homecoming
references
is
it.
not
Even though
canon?
we get the,
Spider-Man
even though
No
we
Way
get the same
Home is
actors,
not
we don't get
canon?
references. We don't get.
Thunderbolt
Plus, they're doing
Ross!
they redesigned most of the characters from it.
Okay.
Hulk gets
Tony Stark
redesigned.
was in it.
Ruffalo gets
No.
added in.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
How do you explain the
It is
Abomination
canon.
redesign?
It's canon.
He
It is canon, and they've referenced
destroyed
it
Harlem.
in the Avengers. It is
You
canon.
mentioned about how he destroyed Harlem.
I just said that.
See, here's the
Nice.
thing. Here's the thing: is you guys aren't listening to what I'm actually saying, though.
Okay, we are listening.
No, we're not.
No, you're not.
Mute him.
Here's
Mute him.
the thing. You just all started laughing. But no, here's the thing: is in the MCU, a very similar thing to what happened in that movie happened, but that movie did not take place in MCU 616 because otherwise we would have a different looking Abomination. Abomination looks different in that movie than he does in new movies, including what he's going to look like in this and what he looks like in Shang-Chi.
Because he evolved, like his that was like the initial part of his change.
Tony
And
Stark
then he
was in
just
it. Tony
changed
Stark was
more.
fucking in it. Robert Downey Jr. was in that movie.
So
What
what?
the fuck, man?
Dude,
So
you
what?
know what?
That's
No.
not a rebuttal.
You can
Yes,
do
that's
whatever
so what?
headcanon you want.
No, but that's the thing. It's an alternate dimension. It does not happen in 616.
Okay, well, that headcanon is staying right there in Moon Knight's head. Okay,
I'm not the only one who thinks so, and I swear, Feige has
But
said
they're
as
wrong.
well.
They're wrong.
I
Look,
want.
it's
I want.
Actually,
I
It's
want.
kind of like
Feige-
Spider-Man
No, I
stuff.
wanna
that-
add something.
that
I wanna
Sony
really-
puts
it's
out
very
by
important to add
themselves.
this.
It's connected to the MCU, but it's not the MCU.
look, when like some of these Avengers actors, when Endgame or Infinity Wars was coming out, they had to play a game where they had to put all the films in consecutive order when they were released. And Incredible Hulk was in that fucking bunch of films.
It was.
Yeah.
You are correct. It
was.
was.
So I don't give a fuck what you say, Jake, and all these dickheads, you fucking listen to. If these actors are fucking putting that shit in their fucking thing, then yeah, it's canon without a doubt.
Whoop-de-dee. It's a promo. None of those actors care one bit about the promo shit. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Every
God.
promo interview
No,
you see
you
is
want-
the fakest bullshit
Zam.
ever.
Zam,
Oh
you're
my
just
god.
Zam, you're just not gonna. You guys aren't gonna win this argument. You might as
It's
well
like,
just
have you
let
ever
them
been
have
to a
it.
team
No,
building?
Well, no,
meeting?
we've
No one
already
talks
won it.
about that
There's
stuff.
nothing-
You just do
there's
it
no
because
point
I
trying to get
told you
through.
to.
Yeah. So okay.
I don't
so
give a
we're-
shit. My opinion is I don't give a shit. I just want a World War Hulk movie. That's all I want.
Riker says it's canon. Damn it.
I don't care. It's
hell are
just,
you doing,
to me,
Gio?
it's as canon as Morbius.
Just let me know. Just let me know the episode where Frogman shows up in She-Hulk. That's
Oh, that's
that's
gonna
all
be
I
great.
care about.
Yeah.
It's mobbing time.
Fair enough. So okay, I think we could rate the episode. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I had a good time with it. Cheetah.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, so we're rating it.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, I thought it was pretty good for an opening episode. Origin yet. I will give Ginger props. The origin was a bit weak. Like, oh, I dripped on you. So then what happens if like you accidentally spit on her? And she had like got in her eye. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
He's not
DNA
supposed
there,
to be
too.
able to bleed.
So
Take my DNA, baby.
I kind of wish they would have gone with the actual transfusion thing where she would have died if Hulk hadn't have saved her, and so
Yeah.
Hulk just made the choice to. So I feel like I agree with Ginger on that the origin is really, really half-assed, and they could have done it better. But everything else in the episode to me was pretty good. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And yeah, I mean, She-Hulk smash me.
Rawr.
Change.
I'd give it a 3.
Oh, Ginger.
I'd give it a 3. And look, the 3 goes to fucking Bruce Banner Hulk. You know what I mean? I'll give 1 point for the ridiculous flying kick at the end as well, because that was hilariously bad. But it's what fucks me off is this insistence to keep the MCU lighthearted, and her origin story in the comics plays into her being a liar. Maybe she brings down some gangsters. So rather than them going after her dad, which they did in the comics, they go after her. They shoot her. And then, that's when Cousin Banner gives her the transfusion. That just would have been better. But that origins of Hulk AIDS bleeding onto her just fucking wound me up. And the rest of it was just your standard generic Disney shite. So, 3.
By the way, Jake, Daniel once agrees with you. He says it's a very you got at least you got somebody who agrees with you. But
somebody was paying attention to what I was saying.
One of you
not
two just
prejudging
kiss.
me.
And
they weren't just
married.
taking a spew bunch of nonsense.
You love
and
each
just
other
started
so
talking
much.
over me. They listened and they're like, "Good point."
But Jim here says, "What the fuck, 3? Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah, it's a
seriously,
3,
what the fuck,
Jim.
man?
Come on, we should be expecting better now. We're just getting generic-ish.
No, we this is what we just should expect out of Ginger. Pinky up.
No, I mean,
Hey, baby. If I agreed with all of you lot, it wouldn't be as entertaining,
No,
Yeah.
everything the MCU puts out, Ginger thinks is somewhere scored between a 1 and a 3 at best, but he watches it. He watches every bit of it. He dribbles it all up, sucks up all that content, and hates it. And
He hate watches it.
But I didn't. Hang on.
You're giving them what
I
they
didn't
want.
watch the rest of What If though, because I
What?
hated it. No,
What
I
the
didn't watch the
fuck?
rest of it. I got up to episode 2 and that was it. I was done. I was just like, I don't give a fuck about this shit.
How-
And the She-Hulk.
was fantastic.
I had to watch the first episode because you have to, and the rest I'll come in for Frogman and Daredevil, the light-hearted fucking fun Daredevil that Disney are going to give us, and that'll be it. Jesus fucking Christ!
Anyway, Jake, what's your rating?
Oh, rating. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Pawnees.
4 out of 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 4 out of 5.
That's a pretty good rating.
Yeah, I think we could have squeezed another one in there if we would have done the backstory a little bit better. I thought the fight scene between the two of them was a little contrived. Like, we just have to show that she's equal footing as Hulk, but not answer the question of who could win a fight. Instead, they break the bar and end the fight that way. And I just thought it was really contrived. The montage a little bit much. There's no explanation about Titania at the end. Like, why is she there? Was she on the witness stand? What made her break in?
We got other episodes for that. That's what I'm saying.
I'm guessing the people that Jen was
I'm judging
prosecuting
just on what
probably-
I've seen so far here today.
And for me,
I think they
and
could have
for
squeezed
me,
more Pawnee
Hulk-
in there.
I thought Hulk was holding back. In the day, it is his cousin. They don't want to kill each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, he's holding back. He's frustrated, and he knows better. He's the mentor,
Right.
so.
And he is, and I just think the plot point of having to have them two duke it out to prove her strength was boring.
No,
that's all. I'm just saying as a plot.
Yeah.
I don't
One
think
of the
that
few
no, I
things
think
to
it
add
was
to
more,
how stupid it was.
I feel like it was just more like they were annoyed with each other. Have you guys ever gone on vacation with family? Do you know how
Sure,
annoying
yeah.
other family members
Right.
get? And
The
you just want to
written
Hulk out and
story.
hit each other? Like, that's kind of what
If he
happened.
was
Was
to
that
get-
they just got annoyed with
The
each
written
other.
story is there,
yeah.
but the functional component of that in the larger story is to set her strength.
No, but she wants to go back to her normal life. He's refusing
Right,
to,
right,
for her to
she does.
do that. He was stopping her, physically stopping her,
And
Yeah.
that turns
and
in-
she wanted, and it
Yeah.
turns into a rock. So I'm not surprised by it at all.
Right, but somebody wrote that and somebody chose that was the way things were going to work out, and I think it was a bad choice. I'm not saying
it was the
that
only way to make it
execution was
remotely
bad. I'm saying
entertaining.
the choice to write that scene was bad.
Guys, I just think episode 1 should not be canon to the MCU since we're just making up our own.
Yeah, if we don't like it, fuck it. It's not canon. Anyway,
Right.
I like
get
the
on board with that.
movie. I think it's great, but it's not.
Ginger's gonna be like, I never heard of a She-Hulk series. In
It's
the
not.
MCU."
She what? She-Ra? Yeah.
It's as canon as everything else that happens in the 738 or the whatever Doctor Strange world. That whole backstory is equally as canon as the canon in the Incredible Hulk. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in the MCU. I'm just saying it doesn't take place in Universe 616.
Nothing. Okay, nothing takes place in Universe 616. It's the fucking comic books.
Yeah.
Well, not according
Yeah.
to Feige.
This is not 616.
And
Fuck.
well,
that's
not according to Feige.
that
according to
universe
Sam Raimi,
that
the
told them that
motherfucker.
was 616, they lied.
Oh no, there's a whole conversation. There's a conversation you can see of the chick who does Miss Marvel had an in I think it was Seth Meyers or something like that. It's telling the story about how she called up Kevin Feige and was all like, "No, you can't do 616. 616 is the comic books," and he says, "Well, I already did that." So according to Kevin Feige, he's taking over 616. And the TV show 616 is separate from the comic 616.
So Kevin Feige,
Jose,
Fifth Lord of the multiverse, right?
Jose, give us a 619 and give me a goddamn fucking review, mate.
Oh man, I almost broke down. I like legit was about to pass out on camera, but I'm gonna give it a 7. God damn it, it was a good show. The origin was all right. You know, the origin could have been handled better, but for a first episode, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. It wasn't the worst thing I've seen. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do going forward.
And Jim gives it a 10 out of 10. He gives fucking everything a 10 out of 10.
Dude,
so
Commodore Boone always gives it
Stop
5
fucking
sausages.
drinking lead, Commodore.
10 sausages.
He gave a
2 sets.
Oh, look, a blank screen, 10 out of 10.
Hey, sometimes that would be welcome. Like if Star Wars put out a movie that was a blank screen, it'd be better than most of the shit they've put out.
I couldn't agree more.
Shots fired.
Star Wars: Revenge of the Paint Drying. Whoa!
So,
No, they'd have to
Daniel
have a
Watts says, I want,
lightsaber on the wall. And some
and the one
Jedi
if we
magic.
if we can truly trust the narrator to tell us that's Jen's altar. I mean, well, the narrator is Jen, isn't she? So she. How you guys feel about the
They
fourth
pulled
wall
that
breaking?
already.
Even though, are you okay with that? I mean, she only done it a couple of times. She didn't do it
As long as they don't overdo it and they like make it a thing where it's like it's coming, I'm okay with that because I want it to come off as natural and organic. That's all I ask when it comes to fourth wall breaking. I don't want it feeling forced.
I don't think they're going to make her an unreliable narrator because they already did the unreliable narrator story with Moon Knight, and that's a great version of an unreliable narrator. I think she's going to be trustworthy, and everything she says is straightforward.
Yeah,
It's just sorry, go on.
Oh, I like the fact that it was almost like one of those powers she discovered, like when they were setting up the tiki bar again. Like she's like, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Yep.
And then she just looks again, and even Hulk looks at her, and it's like it's kind of like because sometimes with the fourth wall breaking, it's almost like in the comics, Deadpool does it all the time, and they always ask who you're talking to. But in the Deadpool movies, I don't really think they ever question it. He just does it.
No, he just does it. Yeah, they've never once questioned it.
There is one person in the MCU, though. In the MCU, there is one person who's done fourth wall breaking. You know who it is?
Stan Lee.
No.
Oh.
The Watcher.
Oh, yeah. The Watcher.
Yeah. But no,
Ginger would
Deadpool,
know.
The first one, they were probably like, "Who are you talking to, dude?"
What?
In the first Deadpool movie, they constantly are like, "Wait, who in the world are you talking to?"
Did they do that? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember if they did. I gotta go rewatch it.
I just find it a bit weird, like with the fourth wall breaking in this, because like when they're helping repair the bar, and Hulk, Bruce says, if you want to go back to being a lawyer, I'm okay with that. And then she goes, she doesn't, and then Jen says to the screen, he doesn't mean that. And then Bruce is like thinking, who the fuck are you talking to? Like,
I even think
I like it.
almost looks like, who am I talking to? Like she almost looks confused by it at that time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I loved how they made it like it was one of her powers she was discovering, like at that moment.
She's like, no, he doesn't.
It was probably one of the few things I think they did really well in this.
Yeah. As long as they don't force it, I'm good. I like it.
Yeah, they gotta have lube with it. I mean,
yeah.
And I like the fact that we kind of got a bit more of the bromance between Tony and Bruce, because they were good mates. They were science bros. They were part of Team Brains. So it was good to see all of that.
I think it would have been a great place for an after credit scene if like it said like 5 years earlier or something like that,
and you would have got to see Tony,
and you had a Robert Downey like cameo.
Yeah.
Where it's like him sitting there just drinking, and then Banner's
upset with Captain America. That's why he was drinking all the time.
Yeah,
and he's like sitting there
Banner.
complaining about Captain America, and Banner's the one sitting there building the tiki bar. I just think it would have been a really cool. It would have been a way to be like, hey, look, there's Tony Stark.
Yeah,
That's it. Like, but that's all it is. Like,
yeah, that's all you get just for shits and gigs.
Yeah,
just
I think it's
bringing
worth it.
Tony.
I think
Yeah.
Robert Downey would have came back for that too.
I think he would have. Yeah,
I think
he'd come back for anything if you pay him.
Yeah.
while we're here as well, we could quickly talk about the ridiculous review bombing that went on both sides.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I saw what you sent earlier, Zan, but I saw it earlier in the day. There was an article about it, and basically, it got like review bombed by 1,000 negative, and then a retaliation with 1,000 positive. And I'm like, fuck both those sides, because it's like, just be honest. Just watch the fucking thing and then make your own judgment. It's like, this is how pathetic people are.
You could tell
It's
most
like,
of those people are casuals that probably have never picked up a comic book.
no,
Right.
they just see woman and it's just like, I'm offended. Quick, give it a minus.
Well, I just
Well,
I
I
look
mean,
at people that are like, this is just another gender swap or another whatever, and I'm like, no, this has been around. Like, even people
It's
at
been
work,
around forever.
yeah, like my people at my work were like, oh, I just hate the fact they're gender swapping Hulk, and I'm like, the She-Hulk's been around since 1970, dude. Like, quit being stupid.
Yeah.
Well, look,
She was around when
unfortunately,
your
we live in this
grandparents
world-
were fucking suckling on her
we
teeth.
live in this world now where like people just get offended by anything which is not a straight white male.
I'm
because-
offended by your lighting. It looks too green.
Like-
Fix that shit.
Yeah, it's made like that. But for instance, the guy who played Luis Guzman, who's playing Gomez, people were upset that like a guy who's Latin American is playing a character called Gomez. They're calling that woke. You know what I mean? It's like,
So
and I'm losing my mind.
What
over
the
this
fuck?
shit.
What the fuck was Raul Julia?
Right?
Raul Julia, what was he? Fucking, what was he, English?
I don't know where
Yeah.
you guys come across all of this hate-filled speech and crap. Like I'm all over the internet. I am a giant fan. I don't run into
Twitter.
half of these stories about
Twitter.
fucking-
Twitter. Get a Twitter
Yeah.
account.
That-
Get a
that-
Twitter
that's
account.
the point I'm trying to make, though, is
Yeah.
that I think that really just sometimes this hate, just like anything else on the internet, is just amplified. And just like there's review bombings, all it takes is two dinguses with a computer, and they can review bomb whatever they want and make it
Yeah.
look like it's
The,
10,000.
you need
the
like
problem,
1,000
the problem is, Jake, is Twitter seems to be a big dictator on how things are done, and sadly, it's not just it's for both sides of the political spectrum, and you can really see like opinion on Twitter is kind of pushing
I don't
changes
think it matters.
to films and all this kind of thing, and it's really irritating. Really
Yeah.
irritating.
At the end of the day, it just sucks. It's like it's not what it used to be many
Yeah.
years ago.
I want
just-
to
I
jump
don't
in with
see
a
it.
point though. It
Yeah.
does, like Jake, you were saying, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
it
it should
shouldn't
not
matter. Yeah, it
I don't
shouldn't
think
matter.
it does. I think the only people it matters to are the people who run into it and believe in it.
But everybody uses like
They're
okay, but here's the thing,
influencers,
there are
man.
very
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
minute. Right. It's a
There's
it's a
something about
minute
it being
group of people that
influencing,
don't
but
use
there's
Twitter.
something about treating it like it's real that just kind of props it up further.
No,
And,
Jake, there are
and I
people
think
out
that if
there.
everyone just realized that it doesn't matter, it kind of goes away.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it
you can be
doesn't work like
philosophical
that.
about it.
like, but
You can
it's
be
like we were
philosophical
talking
about it, but the
before,
reality is that.
right? But
people-
it's like we were talking about
it's-
before. If we talk about it, we give credence to it and we perpetuate it as a, even
But
if
if we
we
don't
talk
talk
about
about
how
it,
it's a
then
bad
Because
idea.
Quartering's
But
got
if we
over a
don't talk
million
about it, then-
subscribers, man.
the haters will just the haters will, and I'm using haters. I know it sounds lame, but
Right.
they'll just keep going. Like they
Yeah.
will, and the problem is that the media will keep on soaking that up and pumping it out to
That's all
everybody else.
because, and it's all because this is just content for them, and content is what's going to make them money
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
Twitter is content
talk
for
it-
media.
Yeah,
You talk
Yeah.
about Ginger not liking certain things. There's people who genuinely dislike, or actually maybe not genuinely dislike, but they know that hating on these things is what's going
it's
to
Right.
it's what's in now.
But my
And-
point being is that
Yeah.
Twitter it just amplifies the outliers, and just because, and same thing with this review bombing, it just amplifies the outliers, and just because somebody with a computer can spam a hashtag or spam a review a site with bad reviews doesn't mean that that's a legitimate point of view. It's kind of like how on Stephen Colbert, sorry if you guys in the UK, they won't even say Trump's name
We know who
anymore
he is.
because there's no value in saying his name and giving him that slight bit of rise. And I think that honestly, talking about the point of view of a bunch of asshats who think that just because someone isn't a white male or isn't heterosexual is terrible, by even just treating those people like their opinions have any matter, is giving them more credence than they deserve.
Well, they're the ones review bombing stuff like She-Hulk in the first place and Ms. Marvel, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, and the thing is, the review bombing is stupid. Right now, Attack on Titan fans are review bombing Bluey, a show for 6-year-olds, because they're upset that their show is no longer #1. That's a real thing. Go look it up. Attack on Titan fans are upset that they're not #1. So, I mean, who cares? It's a bunch of idiots. That's my point. Whatever.
Yeah, but a lot of those idiots get heard more than what we would like. As I said,
because we're talking about it.
Yep.
Okay, but at the same time, there's a lot of people talking about it, and the problem is that there has to be balance, and the problem is that, you know, if you don't counter these things, like, okay, let's talk about the United States here for a second. If we just let Russia nuke us, okay, well, then you know, okay, then we're dead. Yep. You know, like if we just pretend they don't matter, they don't go away.
Well, it didn't work that way for us. That's a little bit different. No one is physically attacking anyone here, and you're right. No, they're not going to go away. They're not going to go away. They're not going to go away.
Some people, it feels that way, that they're being physically attacked. Like, there are people that are just like, you know, like when people shame, like with Ms. Marvel and all these things, it feels like a physical attack on them. That, you know, and you can sit there and say, "Oh,
I'm being replaced. I'm being replaced."
Disavowing that stuff is one thing, but I mean, to really make it like it matters their opinion or whatever, to pretend that matters is not worth our time. I mean, granted, yeah, it's important to disavow it, but I mean, who cares if they don't like it? People
shouldn't be watching these programs in the first place.
The thing is, the thing is, yeah, like, again, I'm not going to disagree with Jake. I agree with Jake, but it's the issue is people like us who are in the middle, who will give an honest opinion on something, and I'm not coming at it from a political perspective, okay, but having to fight both sides, and both sides are almost as bad as each other. Obviously, you got the old fucking octogenarian twats who still live in the past and think white supremacy and all of this. But on the same side, you have the SJW side who want their quotas and all of this, and then they'll abandon something as quickly as they got it changed and move on to the next thing. And you're trying to battle this thing in the middle where you just give me a good fucking logical story that doesn't pander to anyone. It doesn't feel it needs to pander just to keep the Twitter trolls away. And this is my frustration with it. And I agree that where the stance has to come is not from us commentators, is actually from Hollywood to just say, you know what? You're the director, you're the artist.
You do it.
Do what you fucking want. And we are not going to sit there and start saying, you have to have this, you have to have that. Be careful with this. Make sure you say this. It's just be like, you write it, you direct it, and we'll publish it, kind of thing.
That would be fantastic. I agree. Extremism on both sides is bad.
Yeah, totally.
But I think to a certain degree, if you remove yourself from that culture, you can walk away from it and not be affected. It's kind of like how, to me, a Marvel movie coming out or a new show coming out, it's a big deal. It's something that I'm excited for. I'm going to talk about it with people I know. But at the same time, I can go to people in my office who are also considered nerdy people, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't really watch Marvel and I don't care one bit about it. And it's in that same way that you can cut these things out of your life. And even though they're big, momentous things happening, these lots of money we're talking about in these Marvel movies, a lot of cultural impact with these Marvel movies and shows, but you can live your life by cutting it out. And when you do that, I think that's the best way to handle it, is to just kind of cut that out of your life. So I don't go on 4chan because I know it's a fucking cesspool. And I know that there's some asshat who can raise my gullet. There's some idiot on Twitter who can raise my gullet. And I go on there once in a while, but I realize that a lot of that shit's bullshit. 6-year-olds on an Xbox for shock value.
you got to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, mate. And you need to know what people who hate on you are thinking and saying. It's fundamental for someone like me, who doesn't tick all the boxes of what it means to be not woke, and even Jose as well, for sure. You know, I mean, we need to know what the worst people in society are thinking about us and saying. Is fundamental. I cannot not know what these people. I can't ignore it. You know what I mean? It's important to me to keep a tab on my enemies. You know, so it's not easy for me to ignore, dude.
All right.
Yeah. So.
I think we're devolving into psychobabble here, and I want to step away from that here. But general, like I said, I'm amazed that Pawnee agreed with me on something, and I feel like I should go mark that on the calendar. But also, I'm also sure
you get a tattoo to mark the day.
Welcome to the club.
You make good points, but one thing I do like about this contingent of us is that we all have different opinions.
Yeah, it'd be boring if we all agreed.
It'd
be boring if we all agreed with each other all the time.
Yeah, and luckily none of us is an asshat, so that's good too.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. I'm a total asshat.
No, you're not, Cheeto. No, you're hat ass. It's very close, but
there we go.
Okay, so we just want to tell everyone that next week we will be doing this review of She-Hulk on Fridays, because next Thursday will be the beginning of Star Trek Lower Decks, and that will be taking our Thursday slot. And so that's what we're going to be doing on Thursdays, and Fridays will be Ms. Marvel. So make sure you guys know that. I'm sorry, She-Hulk. I'm sorry.
You're right.
It's women. They're all the same. They're not white. One's brown. One's green. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, whoa.
We just went through this whole thing, and then there goes Sam just blowing the
Exactly.
Jake's face is just like, that tells the story right there.
My point.
There you go. I'll be there. Wonderful.
I think Jake is frozen in time. He's just like, he just cannot believe what you just said. And the rest of us are just sitting there losing our shit because
the movies are into isolated events.
We've known Zam. Here's the story. Like, we've known Zam for like a decade. So like when he'll say like really, really crazy shit, we just like burst out laughing because we used to have the same reaction you just did, Jake. But
I would like to say that.
Yeah.
I'd like to consider myself a changed person. You've got to know me post crackhead. You know what I mean? You know, when I was pre-crackhead, I would like to think I was a totally different person.
You would have loved his raw reviews back in the day when it comes to talking about the divas.
Oh yeah. I was calling them bitches.
Fucking bitches and cunts.
But even then, like I used to call I used to call cousin Cheeto Roberto del N-word. You know what I mean? I don't do that anymore. You know what I mean? N-word as in the Spanish version of black. You know, N-word. Yeah. But his name was, but I stopped doing that now because I know times have changed and I just don't go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have adjusted. I have adjusted to the times.
Yeah, but there's still times when you'll say something and then like Jake will have that look on his face and the rest of us are just going to be like, "Yep, there's old Sam."
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the old Sam does see better, but I do like to feel like I'm adjusting to the times. Yeah. So what I was I'm not really necessarily now. No. And I think not smoking the reefer anymore also helps as well. All right.
Get on with it, ISIS.
Nothing wrong with smoking the reefer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me,
when
my
you
fat ass
have
was
respiratory issues like some people,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, then you should go to edibles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
maybe
all
it's
right,
legal
guys,
where you live.
Oh yeah.
I would never tell someone to do something illegal.
It's legal where Jose lives as well.
Yep.
Anyway, guys. I just want to add. I just want to say goodbye to everyone here. We'll see you on Thursday for Lower Decks and Friday for She-Hulk. Take care, everyone. Thank you, boys. Take care now. Bye bye.